All right, everybody, welcome to the live stream of the Texas Redcoat Challenge 2025 awards ceremony. My name is Tony Silvera. I am this year's awards or competition coordinator. It's my second year doing this, and it was a lot easier this year than last year. Go through real quick, kind of our agenda. We're broadcasting to you from Denton County Brewing Company here in Denton, Texas. Got a great room full of participants, judges, entrants, and just good friends. So really excited about that. So we're going to go through a quick welcome. I'd like to say some thanks to all the folks that made this thing work. A couple competition stats. I promise it's lighter than last year. We'll go through the results, and then we'll have our best of show award and then some closing comments. So without much further ado, first I'd like to welcome everybody. This is, I believe, our 7th year in doing this competition. This was conceptualized by Brian Street, one of our members, as an homage to British brewing traditions and ales, but still modernized with things like Australian sparkling and pilsners and things that are in that Commonwealth. This is part of the North Texas circuit, so thanks to Jarrett and John for letting us stay part of that. And I think we are the second to last competition in the North Texas circuit. So Santa B will be coming up next. And is it open now? It is open now. So if you're in the mead making biz, please visit that and get entered in that. That's your last chance to score some points on the North Texas circuit. With regards to this competition, this is our second year of having greater than 85 entries. We have 100 entry max, and I'm really happy with that. And we've got quite a distribution of folks entering from all across the country, which I'll share with you shortly. And lastly, I just want to say thank you for participating. Whether you participated as an entrant, a judge, a steward that helped out and check in, or just even being here today to support and recognize the winners, that's what makes this really fun. So let's start with some thank yous. So I'd like to start with a couple of our Denton County Homebrewers Guild team members. Blake Umphris here to my left. He is our co-coordinator, and if I have my way, next year he will be the coordinator. So you always got to pass the torch into a newer and brighter bunch. I'd like to thank Keith in the back there. Keith handles all of our PayPal, our money, making sure medals get ordered, and all of the goodies at the end. So logistics, thank you, Keith, very much. T. Michael Miller, who's a remote member of ours from Ormond Beach, Florida. He makes these handy-dandy little wood things. We like to give out something special each year, and some folks do tap handles. Last year we did bottle openers. This year we decided to go with coasters, with the idea that if you were really good, you could actually get a set of 4. I can tell you nobody got a set of 4. But they're very cool, and information is on the back, but I won't show you what it is. So thank you, T. Michael, for that. And lastly, Brian, right here in front, who handles all of our media. He's also our sitting vice president and does a whole bunch for the club. So thank you, Denton County members. I'd also like to thank Jimmy Orkin from North Texas. He's been kind enough to share his BCOEM instance and servers for us. So he takes care of all the tech whenever I call him, even if it's just to say hello. He always answers the phone help desk. So he's really makes sure all of the back end stuff works. And so big thanks to Jimmy. I'd like to thank everybody that supported us for check-in. I actually was not here. My lovely wife, Jennifer, and I were over in Monterey at the Jazz Festival. So Blake handled check-in. And so all the folks that supported him, I'd like to say thank you for that. All of the North Texas judges, I'll show you here in a bit the count. But, if you've run a competition before, there's a lot of magic that happens in the back end, and it's all about the judges. It's about their willingness to be there, them showing up on time with clean palettes, providing good feedback, writing good things in your score sheets that help you become a better brewer. So I want to thank everybody that participated, and I'll go through those numbers here shortly. Denton County, this is our, home. Seth and his fine people are kind enough to let us not only do this every year, but this is where we have our monthly meetings. They let us use their cold box for storage for judging. So they're just a really great partner in this. And Seth also participates in the Best of Show judging. So really thankful for that. Our two local North Texas homebrew stores, North Texas Homebrew Supply and Brewhound out in Fort Worth. North Texas also was a judging site for us, as well as that's where all the shipped entries went to. So thanks, Eric, for that. And of course, Chris at Brewhound for drop-offs. So, and then lastly, all the North Texas homebrew clubs, right? This is North Texas Circuit. A majority of the entries came from folks in this area, which is great because, we hold these things to help the North Texas brew clubs have competitions. Part of the great thing about the North Texas Circuit is I love that each of the competitions has a different spin, whether it be Cap and Hare doing Ozapt in German or the Horsemen doing Belgian, and the Limbo, which is low gravity stuff. So each of these has a great opportunity for folks to hone in their beer styles and brew specific styles, and then they get judged accordingly. It's a lot harder when you enter your beer in a Blue Bonnet or something that's got 500 or 1,000 entries. It's easy to get lost. And I think some of these smaller competitions are a great way to get really high quality feedback, but at a more personal level. So I want to thank all the clubs and also for the folks that participated in judging. So thank you, North Texas clubs. All right. So let's do a quick overview on some of the stats. There were 87 paid entries, 85 were received, 2 didn't make it into shipping. So those are still good numbers out of the 100 that we had available. There were 39 individual brewers or teams that entered, which is really good. And if you think about it, and you'll see a pie chart shortly because I do pie charts, 39 brewers out of 85 entries means we didn't have a whole bunch of people entering 10, 20 beers. These a bunch of small entries, which again, more personal touch, more accessibility to more brewers. There were 16 homebrew clubs represented in our competition. And I could think of about 6 in the North Texas area. So that's, 10 from outside, and 10 states were represented. And for a brief moment, we actually had an entrant from the UK. And I thought, oh, how awesome, because then we could be an international competition. But I'm pretty sure that guy looked at the shipping of his one bottle and said, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So maybe next year. As far as the structure of the competition tables and judging, we do have 8 tables. You can see the medals laid out here. We had 3 judging locations this year, 26 judges, 5 support staff and volunteers, and then a whole bunch of folks that helped them check in. A lot of those were already either judging or volunteers. So thank you for that. Statistics. I always like to put a couple pie charts together. So I just talked about this entry count by brewer. So what we see here is over 75% of this competition was 1 or 2 entries. So I think that's great. Again, in today's competition with MHP and other things, some of these smaller competitions can get swamped out by, brewers that are effectively semi-pro competition guys. So it's good to see the number of brewers in there, and mostly 1 or 2 entries, a handful of 3s, 4s, 5s, and a couple, bigger ones. And you know who you are. I don't need to call you or look at you. I did this last year. I just think it's good to talk about entry counts and kind of the scores. Because if you're a judge, the scores range. And last year, I was really happy that most of the scores were in the 35 on average. And I'll show you in a sec here. But again, aside from MHP, but when you look at BJP scoring guidelines, anything above 30 is a very good beer. And so to have the average for an entire table be in the upper 30s, I think that's really good. And that speaks to the quality of beers that came into this competition. And also, I think the quality of judges. You can see the dark green line here. Hopefully, if you're not color blind, it's the darker line versus the lighter line. We're still a little light in the Scottish area. You know, for some reason, that was a smaller table this year. It was a smaller table last year. We did see the bidders come down. It cut itself in half. There were 20 entries last year. We were down to 11 this year. And there was a nice spike in the Irish category. So that was kind of fun. And I know the Irish judging, Randy was part of that. That was there was a lot going on there. So neat stuff. And just for some comparison, I wanted to compare this to last year. So the blue lines, which are kind of the left bars, that was last year, and then the green lines are this year. So what you can see is the scores were largely in the same domain, but you can see there was that shrink in count from the British, you know, the growth in the Irish, but on par, largely about the same. So fairly consistent entries, and that's really good. As I wanted to mention, I just think this is really important. People get caught up in, you know, other things, but, you know, things that are in the 30 to 45 range, those are great. Those are good beers. And effectively what that means is, you know, very few flaws. And it's not easy to make an unflawed beer. Anyone that says they've never made an unflawed beer hasn't made enough beer. I can tell you that. So I think that's really encouraging. So that's kind of a snapshot. Next, I want to move on to judges and staff. I'm sure many of you will see your name up here. I won't go through all of them, but I want to thank all of these folks, because these are the folks that made everything happen. I also want to make a special call out to the last three on the far right there, Seth, Cody, and Toast, who are professional brewers in this area. Seth is the owner of this place. Cody Bell is the director of brewing operations at Union Bear, which is a pretty well-known, fantastic brewery that makes a ton of great beer. And Toast, who's an ex-Denton County member and owner of Toasty Bros, which is also right around the corner. By the way, that's where I'll be going after this to have a beer to support him as a local brewer. Those guys were our best of show judges. I got to attend that session along with Josh Hayes. It was really, I mean, these guys were looking at all of the, you know, the BJCP requirements. They were really going through each of these beers and having a great debate on it. So it was a really good best of show session. So thank you to everybody on this screen if you're on here. Thank you. All right. This is what you came for. So the results, we're going to go this way from that way, starting with British Bitter. And our bronze medal goes to Carl King, who happens to be here today. Congratulations, Carl. Silver medal, Matthew Mead. Matthew's not here. And our gold medal, Josh Wynn from Denton County. Josh is not here because he just had a brand new baby girl 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Anyway, you know, he's doing that kind of thing right now, so he probably has no sleep. But congratulations to Josh on that win. In fact, small story on this, he wanted to enter, but before the last day of drop-off, they were at the hospital, but they were at the hospital in Frisco, which is near my house. So I met him at the hospital to pick up his beers to bring him back in for drop-off. So congratulations to Josh on not giving up. All right, the next table. Oh, and Josh gets one of these handy-dandy coasters here that I'm sure will have, you know, baby milk on it before long. All right, the next table, Pale Commonwealth. As I mentioned before, we want to keep this competition heritage-based, but also modern. So this includes Australian sparkling, this includes New Zealand Pilsners, and those what they call now Commonwealth beers, typically pale hoppy beers. So our first bronze goes to Guy Wilson with a New Zealand Pilsner from San Antonio. That is not Guy Wilson, that's Chris Daly. But thank you, Chris, because you saved me some shipping. Silver medal, Matthew Mead. And our gold goes to Hayden Charter, New Zealand Pill from Foam Rangers. So not a whole lot of Pale Commonwealth winners here today. Okay. Next table. Brown British beers. Bronze medal, Jarrett Long. Jarrett, was that last year's NHC gold medal winner? Maybe. Yeah. You know, when you do these competitions for a couple of years, sometimes the beer names become familiar and you start to recognize them. And you're like, there you go. Well, either A, it held up well, or B, it's a great freaking recipe and you did a great job. All right, silver medal, Dave Frombrock, English Porter from Peninsula Fermentation Society. I probably should have looked that up, but I'm going to just guess that's out west. And the gold, Jeff Poirot, a dark mild from Draft Punk. All right, he's not here. All right, next table, Strong British. Did we do that right? Is that one? Okay, good. This is the table everyone loves to judge, especially at 9 o'clock in the morning when you get all the. It's oddly a hard one to recruit. I'm like, oh, you're on table 4. Like, oh man, really? All right, and the bronze medal goes to Steve Russell from the Horsemen. Who's going to collect for Steve? Come on up, Barry.
I know how to get it to him.
You know how to get it to him. All right. And our silver medal goes to Jarrett Long. Nicely done. I wouldn't go too far. The next gold medal goes to John Bates with Tom O'Leary's South Par Barley. Come on up, Jarrett. You get one of you guys can pick it up for him. I will say, I had a sample of that beer. It was really darn good. Next up, Scottish Ale. And the bronze medal goes to our dual citizen, Evan Brady, for Ev's Scottish Export. Ev's a dual citizen with us in North Texas. Thanks, Evan. Like the jersey, E-Man, that's good. And our silver, Robert Bellany, a Scottish export from North Georgia. Pretty sure he didn't make the drive, so we'll get that shipped out to him. And our gold goes to Reed Smaller. Nice. North Texas. I noticed you changed from the Dallas Homebrew Collective. Congratulations. All right. Oh, that was supposed to go. Yeah, sorry about that. Animation pain. Damn you. Okay. Irish Ale. And the bronze, Jeff Perot, Reed's Red Ale, an Irish Red. Silver, Alex and Patrick Williams, Clover and Coat Irish Stout from the Kansas City Beermeisters. Love to see that out-of-state competition coming in. And the gold, I don't know. I don't think we should give this one out. Should we?
I think we should. Go.
All right. Mark McCurdy. Allie's Irish Red. Congratulations, Mark. All right. Table 7. Dark British beer. Bronze medal. We shouldn't give this one out either. Brian Street, A House Divided. Woo! And sorry, and Keith and Natalie, team thing that didn't happen for some reason in our copy and paste. Come on up, you guys. Come on up.
Yes, we have to. We have to do it.
Great job, guys. Sorry, there's only so much that fit in here, so all the team stuff didn't necessarily go in. Thanks, Brian, for reminding me. All right, and the silver medal, Josh Wynn. I'm pretty sure my wife would take exception to this title. Why do the Germans have to ruin everything? But this is from Josh from Denton County. Congratulations to Josh again. Good job, Josh. And the gold. Again, when you've done this competition, you start to recognize some names. Congratulations, Reed. I think Baby's First won a medal last year as well. So again, fabulous recipe or fabulous execution. So congratulations there, Reed. All right. So we're coming into the last table. So the bronze medal for the Braggett, Sider, and Perry, Brian Street, and KN Green. Guys, come on up. All right. Silver medal, Dan Atchison from the Urban Knaves of Grain. I was temporarily a member at UKG when Jennifer and I lived up in Chicago a few years ago. So those guys make good beer. So congratulations to Dan. And our gold goes to Dan Herman. English cider. He entered unassociated, but attended our meetings for many years. So I guess he's mad at us. Anyway, so congratulations to Dan. All right, so let's give a big round of applause to all of our medal winners. So great job, everybody. So next, why don't you take the purple off? And then for our best of show, we have, there you go. The best of show went to Hayden Charter with his New Zealand Pilsners, Foam Rangers, Homebrew Club. Congratulations. We do not award an honorable mention, but last year we mentioned one. It was Chris Daly's Wee Heavy that was honorable mention. This year I asked the best of show judges if they wanted to call one out, and they did. And they thought John Bates barley wine. Again, when you watch these best of shows, if you've ever been to a best of show judging, and particularly if you're not doing 1, 2, 3, but you're just kind of doing one, you kind of cut the group in half, and that happens pretty quick. They're like, okay, here's 8, these 4, and then it takes about that same amount of time to cut them in half again. And I don't know if you've ever heard this old mathematician's joke. If every day you get halfway to the end of the finish line, how long does it take to get you there? You know, the answer is never. Those last 2 were a very healthy debate, and it was really exciting. And I was able to be there along with Josh, so we kind of tasted those top 3 or 4 beers, and they were all amazing quality beers. So I wanted to call out John Bates for his barley wine, and also recognize Hayden for his New Zealand Pilsner. So congratulations. Okay, next. I wanted to put up here, I just thought about this yesterday, but individual and club points. I know folks like to see how they did individually in terms of collecting things. And so from an individual standpoint, Reed, whose name we've called several times today, was at the very top of the chart, followed by Josh, Jeff, and Matthew. And so you can kind of see how this unpacked. So congratulations to you guys with multiple wins. It's really exciting. And then from a club, we also summarize these up. The Horsemen came in on top with 10 points, followed by our very own Denton County. So that's exciting. North Texas, aka Reed. Great job, and then some of the others. So Again, fun to see so many clubs participating. Again, you look down here, you see Kansas City, you see North Georgia, you see Peninsula, you see UKG, which, as I mentioned, is an Illinois, Chicagoland-based club. Cap and Hare and San Antonio, so state of Texas and many others represented here. So pretty exciting there. All right, final closing comments here. I want to thank everybody for being part of Texas Redcoat Challenge 2025, whatever your role, entrant, judge, support staff, just being here. I said I'll post the results in the next couple hours. If 10 minutes goes by when I'm done and somebody in this room isn't nagging at me to hit the button, I'll be shocked. So it'll probably be faster. Bride's already like, why haven't you pushed it yet? So hit the button, yeah. So the button will be hit, and the results, along with your score sheets, will be posted here shortly. Keith, again, he's our BJCP rep. We'll get the BJC judging points submitted this week, so you should see those in the next few days. Looking forward, hope to see many of you at Bluebonnet in March. We have, Jared, are you the president this year? The director? We have the director of Bluebonnet here with us, so I know they're actively underway planning things. So I think it's going to be a great event this year. We're all looking forward to it, so hope to see many of you there. If you're not here, maybe you'll be there. And then lastly, I want to, congratulations to each and every one of the medalists, and thank you again to all judges and support staff. So with that, I'll conclude the presentation. So I say thank you. And it's never too early to start thinking about 2026. So if you haven't made a Scottish ale, start practicing. Thank you very much. And thank you, Brian, for live streaming us. And for those of you in the room, let the celebration party begin. Thank you very much.